How are you, David?
Hi guys, how are you?
How you feeling?
I'm tired. Tired.
Yeah, you work today?
Sure.
Oh, wow. When you get home?
I got home around 7:45.
Did you eat something? You poor thing.
No, I'm not hungry. Thank you. I'm good.
All right. Let's see if somebody shows up.
Oh, it's just us?
Yeah, I mean, they asked me to do it, and now,
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
yeah, people were asking me to do it on the holiday, but it looks like they changed their mind.
Did you text out? Did you did you text out to them?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they can't see it because they're a little bit dizzy.
Maybe.
Okay. How you feeling, David? How's everything?
I'm all right. I see the new S class on Fifth Avenue. Like, it's everywhere, you know. There's like 10 of them next to the hotel. They use it as TLC,
Wow. Okay.
you know. I guess you can't kill a legend, you know. They created a legend in people's minds, you know. It's I think that the competition is as good and in many aspects better, but you know, I guess Mercedes is like a Rolex watch, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, it's just it's no better watch than any other watch, but I guess the S class was, you know, at one time the best sedan in the world, you know, when basically there was no competition, you know.
I guess they didn't see that video you sent out. Otherwise,
Which video? Which video? The
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 one you
guy
sent out.
dissecting everything?
Yeah. Maybe if they would have
Well,
seen
I
that, they
mean,
would
look,
change their mind.
I think he found things that people don't look for, but I
Yeah.
I knew that was happening since since 2000,
Uh-huh.
when Mercedes started to take shortcuts, but this car is a tremendous amount of money. I mean, some of those S580s for sale, fully loaded, are like over $150,000.
Yeah, it's 150. Yeah.
Yeah. You get a car. Uh, I see the already even some NDAs. So it took a huge depreciation, but you know those options that add up to like $30,000-$40,000 are really just not necessary.
Yeah.
Because for example, my AMG had a $7,500 some kind of a Harman Kardon or some I forgot which one it had because they change contracts all the time with the provider. It had a Harman Kardon sound system for $7,500, and it really didn't see the Bose and Bose. That's really did, they make a lot of money on that stuff.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we'll get
Oh,
started.
we have another.
We got two people. We'll get
Yeah,
started.
we have another. Participant. Yeah.
Okay, we'll let them come late today. It's a holiday. What can you do?
Right. Right.
They'll come in. They'll come in. Okay. All right. So here we go. We'll get started.
Okay.
I'll just put the Facebook on, and we'll get started right away.
Are you doing the class?
Yeah, we're gonna get started. I'm just putting on the Facebook. Takes a second. We were just waiting for somebody to come in, Okay.
You got me, you got David. Who else you need?
Yeah, we got good people. They say in Judaism, they say in the Torah, every person is like a whole world. It's a universe in itself. Every person is a universe. Olam Shalem. Okay, that's good. Connected. All right, we'll get started. Very good.
Forms Meach.
Amen. You too. God bless everybody. Okay, we'll do screen share, and get started. It's a short chapter. I think all the tough ones are already over. Very much we're getting to the easy, as they say, easy street. We're on easy street now. Okay, so here it goes. So it says the Torah like this. Gedolah mitzvah tefillin says that mitzvah tefillin is very great. Shekola manichan marich yamin. Whoever puts tefillin, he has length of days, right? In other words, the lifespan is increased. Shenemar, as it says, where the pasuk, right? Adonai alehem ihyu ve'amar Rabba. It says Rabba regarding this pasuk. Kol hamaniach tefillin umitatef b'tzitzit. Whoever puts tefillin and puts tzitzit, right? V'koreh kriyat shema, says kriyat shema, mitpalel and says the tefillah, says the Amidah, muftach lo shu ben ha'olam haba. He's assured that he has a portion of the world to come, right? Ben olam haba. That means he's like a VIP over there. He's got a VIP status. Okay, that's good. And then he says, Amar Abaye, says Abaye, this is in the Gemara. Me'arev ani bo she'en esh shel geinam sholet bo. Wow, look what he says, right? He says, I guarantee that the flames of hell, geinam, will not burn him. There you go. Papa Amar says, Papa, me'arev ani bo she'kol avonotav nimchalin. Wow, look at this, unbelievable. He says, says Rapapa, I guarantee that all his sins are forgiven. The whole Misha Enon Manichan. Oh, look what it says, right? But the one who doesn't put them, he's considered to be the sinners of the Jews, right? Jewish sinner, the gufan, with their body. So he sins with his body, right? It's not bad enough that he sins. He sins with his body, dafka. So says the Torah. Therefore, everybody has to be very careful about tefillin. You know, make sure you do it. Okay, so you see from there, right, that also that the main mitzvah of the tefillin is to put it on, say Kriyat Shema, and say Amidah, right, and then you're really in the promised land, as they say, right? That's the ikar. That's the main idea. At least, by the way, if a person doesn't have time to do Amidah, let's say he's in a hurry, he's got to go somewhere, blah blah blah. Let's say he's in the army, right? So he doesn't have time. So they say that at least you should say Kriyat Shema with it, at least that much, right? Minimum Kriyat Shema, and that's already a big thing, right? They say, by the way, that if a person does that, says Kriyat Shema, when he goes out to war, he'll be victorious. So there you go, right? The Tefillin, the Kriyat Shema, all that. It's a powerful weapon. Powerful spiritual weapon. Okay. Very nice. Okay, so let's go on to
Rabbi, what about the Chabad people that do hey, have you put on your tefillin today, and they like rapid rap people and just have them say the count for anything then?
So what's the question with that?
So there's Chabad people.
Yeah.
That
What's the question?
They have the music, and they see men walk by, and they say, "Are you Jewish? Did you wrap tefillin today?"
Yeah, sure.
And then they say, I am Jewish and I haven't wrapped tefillin, and they wrap the tefillin really fast, and they have them say the bracha really fast, and then they take it off of them and send them on their way. Have they done anything?
Oh, that's a good question. So the answer is that I saw in one of the books of the Rabbi Yosef. He writes that according to Shulchan Aruch, he says the din is that a person puts tefillin on for 1 second, he already fulfills obligation. Once he puts it, he did his obligation.
Rabbi, you remember when Butcher chased one of them down the street with a tree branch?
Yeah. So, but
I wasn't there to see it.
to put at least Kriyat Shema. Depending on how much time you have, if you don't have time, then say Kriyat Shema. If you don't have that much time either, at least say the first pasuk, the first paragraph, the first whatever, right? Whatever you can do. Everything is good. Yeah, what were we saying, David?
I said, you remember that episode? I wasn't there. You told me about it, so I can only imagine.
Yeah, well, if I
when one of those
had my
guys,
phone, I would have videoed it, but sorry, there's no video. You have to trust me on that one.
I trust you.
Okay. Okay, so here we go. Going to the Bet Yosef. So says Bet Yosef, regarding this tour, it says Pirush Rashi, right? Regarding this pasuk that they brought, right? This verse. What's the explanation of that? What does that have to do with tefillin, right? So it says Pirush Rashi, Adonai alehem otam shenosim alehem. So it says it means that Shem Adonai, b'tefillin yichyu, whoever bears the name of God on his head with the tefillin, he will live. That's what it means. So therefore, right, it's a big thing. Rabbi kol amaniach tefillin, says Rabbi, whoever puts tefillin, ad shekol avonotav nimchalin, hakol b'shimush harabah. So this story that we brought just now, this, not the story, but the sayings of these rabbis. What's the source? It's not in the Talmud. It's in the Shimush Harabah, which is a midrash, as we said, right? This midrash.
What do you mean?
Harabah is on,
what do you mean he will?
it's on the tefillin. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I apologize. Before what do you mean he will live?
That means he'll live in the world to come.
Oh, I see. But it doesn't
He has
guarantee.
life in the world to come. It
Uh-huh.
also it also extends his lifespan here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he will live, Okay.
What about the other sins that prevent him from making it to the next world?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. The truth is, that when the rabbis say things like this, you have a portion always if you do this and that, it means that your
Yeah.
sins are not so great to outweigh, right? Outweigh your mitzvot. In other words, if they're so great like that, so then it may not work for you. This whole thing, God forbid. So you know what that means? For instance, let's say, right, a person does idolatry, right? Whatever, he worships idols, or became a Christian, whatever, right? Whatever, or he breaks Shabbat in public, So this person, the tefillin may not help him because these things already like remove him from Judaism altogether, So there are some
Yeah.
idolatry, breaking Shabbat in public, and also immorality, like adultery, homosexual, things like this. If he does things like this,
Yeah.
he didn't do teshuvah, so then the tefillin may not be able to get him to the finish line, as they say.
Well, what about the other one that pertains to men? If you were suffered by your wife, to some degree, you're guaranteed to make it to the next life.
Right. Yeah. There is a Gemara like that. I think it's in Masechet Gittin. It says that. What it says is like this. That if a person has a bad wife, he won't see the face of Gainam. He won't go to hell because he had hell over here. That's understand, David?
Yeah. Oh boy, do I understand.
Okay, you understand.
Yeah. I understand, but there must be some kind of a provision or some kind of a stipulation with that as well, as far as
There is
outweighing.
again the same thing. It depends on.
Yeah.
Like you said, right? If you have these cardinal sins, nothing will save you. It's nothing will save you.
The one thing that I don't understand, and I want to really put it to rest, is there a hell, or are there levels in the next world where the people will make it to certain levels according to how they're going to be judged to how they live their life here.
If you want to know, by the way, if there's really Gainam, if there's Gainam, you know how you can tell? Go take a trip, to Washington State.
108th Street?
No. Go to
Fifth Avenue.
Take a trip to Washington State.
Yeah.
Go to a place called Mount St. Helens. You know what that is over there? You know what it is there?
Yeah, sure.
It's a volcano. They say, the rabbis say that those volcanoes, the fire that comes out from them, it comes from Gehinnom. It's the fire of
I
Gehinnom.
see.
So it's down there.
I'm very disappointed. I thought it would be the capital.
Well, that's a different type. That's a different type. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's political Gehinnom. That's something else.
Mm.
We're talking about the physical one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you were saying?
Yeah. So yeah, that's the way it is. I mean, the fire is there. It's coming out of volcanoes. It's there. There's a big fire down deep in the earth. That's Gehinnom.
Yeah, I thought that was all, Christian nonsense, where you're going to burn. And I thought that our, not hell, but the world to come would be, what you taught us. We'd be on different levels. And,
that's something else. That's already after the Gehinnom. You know what I'm saying? After a person spent a year in Gehinnom, so then he comes out.
That's right. I apologize. Yeah, that's right.
He has to have a year over there. He has to, do some time, if you know what I mean. He has to do time in Alcatraz, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
For a year.
All right. Okay, got it.
Okay. So let's go on, right? As you said, whoever doesn't put a tefillin is considered to be a sinner with his body. By the way, why do we call that a sinner with your body? Because what happens is that, one way to explain it is that when you don't put tefillin, your body gets contaminated with impurity. So, it sanctifies your body. So that's the important thing. And by the way, that contamination that a person gets by not putting tefillin, what happens is that he comes to also do other sins with his body because his body is contaminated. It's a very big problem, it's a very big issue. So anyway, it comes and says, the Rosh Hashanah. It says in the first parak of Rosh Hashanah, it says, Giman Rosh Hashanah, Yud Zayin Amud Aleph, B'katvot Tosfot, says Tosfot, the Rosh and the Rosh and the Ran, right, the Mordechai, all these Rishonim. Hashem Rabbeinu Tam.
Recirculation. Call now and get upgraded
There's a noise coming there, David.
Oh, I apologize.
Okay, yeah, you can shut that down. So it says, right, B'Shem Rabbeinu Tam, Dafka Hanimna Min Hanichan B'Shvil Shenitzvah Hamitzvah B'Zavya Alav B'Zuya Alav. Oh, so he says Rabbeinu Tam, this applies only that he refrains from putting it because he despises the mitzvah, like our friend, right? With like you mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Despise it, that's already something else, right? Alav. But he says if he's just afraid to put it, mishum debai gufnaki, because he needs a clean body, right? In other words, let's say he has some, constipation, right? So he's not clean, you know what I mean? He has diarrhea. So if he's refraining from putting it because of that, that's not called a sinner, right? That's already, something else. We're not talking about that. So he's afraid that he won't be able to be clean, right? Keep clean, right? And this is the way he doesn't put it. So says the Rosh something interesting about that. He says that even though there's a sin there. Why? Because at least, just put it for 2 minutes and say Kriyat Shema. Even if you have problems with your stomach, whatever, right? You could probably hold it for 2 minutes, right? What's the big deal? So, in Tefillah, right, and also for prayers, Mikol says, Lo mikred b'hachi poshei Israel. But nevertheless, he's only called a sinner with your body, begufan, right? But a person like that is not called a sinner with his body because he has some kind of justification. But it says from the words of Rabbeinu, the Tur, so he says that he's saying that whoever doesn't put them is called a sinner with his body. So therefore, you have to be careful to put tefillin. It seems like the Tur, he says, is not explaining like Rabbeinu Tam. So he's explaining like this. Whoever doesn't put them for any reason, right? Whatever reason it may be. He's still considered to be a sinner with his body. Because according to Rabbeinu Tam, whereas, right, according to Rabbeinu Tam, whoever doesn't refrain from putting them mishum bizui, because he doesn't like the mitzvah, hates the mitzvah, lo haba bichal poshe Israel. He's not called a sinner of Israel. The en lomar the achikamar. You shouldn't say that this is what you should. What he means. Kivan the mitzvah tefillin chashuva kokach. That since the mitzvah tefillin is so important, shemi she'eno manichan, right? That whoever doesn't put them, mashkachat la she'eh bichal poshe Israel. Whoever doesn't put them is considered to be a sinner of Israel. That's only when you don't put them because of you don't like them, you hate them. So therefore you gotta be careful. So it says, what's the difference between tefillin, kol mitzvot any other mitzvahs also? Person refrains from doing it because he doesn't like it, he hates it. He's still a sinner of Israel. The tefillin, the nakat the Gemara. So it says the tefillin that he chosen the Gemara to talk about that. The dugma nakta, it gave it like as an example. And that would be also applied to any other mitzvah. He says efshar, but it says possible, right? To think of it a different way, different approach. The shani tefillin they have it bichla posh Israel, right? The gufan tefillin is different. If you don't put tefillin dafka there, precisely there, it makes you a sinner with your body. Why? Because you're putting it on your body, as we said, right? That's the thing. Not so with other mitzvot. You're not putting the mitzvot on your body in general, you know? Right? He says, therefore he says, kinimna minayu mishum bizui. So therefore when you refrain from it, because you don't like it, whatever, right? Whatever. Even though it's considered to be the sinner of Israel, it's not considered to be a sinner with his body. He says, nevertheless, but it says according to the simple meaning of the words of the two Rabbeinu, you add the los Rabbeinu Tam, Perush Rabbeinu Tam. He doesn't hold like Rabbeinu Tam, it seems like. So what does that mean? In any case, he's considered to be a sinner, right? Maniach tefillin, keshen maniach tefillin, because when he doesn't put tefillin, even though he doesn't refrain from putting it, mishum bizui, because of hatred, whatever, hating the mitzvah. So that's the way it seems from Rabbeinu Yocham, he says. It says it's possible this all the Rosh, also the Rosh agrees with this. Because in the laws of Tefillin, he says Katav Stam, he writes over there, he writes over there, the Poshe Yisrael Begufan. What does that mean? You're a sinner with your body. Have Kalkafta the Lo Manach Tefillin. So we're talking about somebody who doesn't put Tefillin. That's what it's about. So it seems like tefillin is different than all the other mitzvot. You understand? When you don't put that one, you have an issue with your body, dafka. You know, your body's contaminated there. Katab od harosh. So says the Rosh, Shanu chachamim leyom adin. So says the Rosh like this, incredible, right? It says the rabbis taught that at the day of judgment, im zahir b'mitzvot tefillin. If he was careful about tefillin, to put tefillin every day, kaf. Zechiyot machrat. So what happens is that the good side overpowers the bad side, you know, in the judgment, right? So yeah, you have a good defense lawyer there, right? You have a great defense lawyer. Your tefillin is your good defense lawyer. But he says if he was sinner in tefillin, he didn't put tefillin, then the sins overpower the good parts, right? That's what happens. So it becomes like the deciding factor. That's what we're saying. Understand? The tefillin she'en lecha gedola b'chol mitzvot aseh shebatorah yoter mitzvot tefillin. So it's because you don't have anything greater in the positive commandments like the mitzvah of tefillin. Wow. So he's telling you, right, when it comes to positive commandments, meaning what, the active commandments, right? There's nothing greater than tefillin. She'uksha kol Torah kulak tefillin, because he says the whole Torah is compared to tefillin, right? So one mitzvah is compared to everything. Why? Because it says in the pasuk, it says, right, the Torah of Hashem should be in your mouth. So therefore he says every person has to be careful with mitzvah tefillin. So he says you see that some people are lax, you know, they're lax with tefillin, you know, like Like one day they put, one day they don't put. One day he forgot, one day he was in a hurry. Da 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 da. Not consistent, right? I know Rabbi Shimon ben Lazar. This is what Rabbi Shimon ben Lazar says in Masechet Shabbat, Kaf Kuf Lamed Amud Aleph. Kol mitzvah shelo masru Yisrael atzmam aliyah b'shat hashmad. So he says any mitzvah which the Jews didn't give up their lives to do it in the time of persecution, it's still not strong in their hands. In other words, the only way it becomes strong in the Jewish people's hands, the mitzvah, is if they were able to give up their life for it. They willing to give up their life. It commits the right to, yeah. So the Hadi Amina says in Yerushalmi. That was you said in Yerushalmi. Brachot Gemara Yerushalmi. Mipnei ma lo echaziku ba mipnei haramaim. So he says, why didn't they hold on to this mitzvah, right? Because of the Ramaim, because of the cheaters, right? The Ramaim, the fraudulent people. So we'll see what that means, right? The crooks. Hachi Perusha says, this is what it means. Why aren't people consistent, right? To put tefillin, Why are they so lax with that? What's the reason for that? So he says, Kol hayom, every day. Shirin v'nemanim b'nehem. Says they think that they're fine, he puts it like twice a week, 3 times a week. The other days, no, blah blah blah. So he says this is the proper thing. What does that mean? That a person who puts tefillin, the name of God is called upon him. So he says, you know what it is? That there are also cheaters, people who are hypocrites, hypocritical people. That what? They put tefillin, to make themselves look holy, right? They cheat people like that. So what does that mean? They show you, oh yeah, I put tefillin, but they're really a crook. You understand? There are people like this. So it says, seems like the explanation for his words is like this. Like it says in Rabbi Nucham, this is the language of Rabbi Nucham. That means that they don't put the tefillin all day, right? In those days, they used to put tefillin all day. That's what it means. So now we don't put tefillin all day, right? Custom is not to put all day. Why is that? Because people who will do this, a lot of people who are crooks, do this, to put tefillin all day to show people that they're kosher. But if you don't put it at the time of prayers, he says, so then you're called a sinner, right? That's already something else. Right? Okay. But it says when you're careful with his words, deduce his words properly. You see that the Rosh, he says like the Tosfot. The Perek Bamen Tomlin with this Perek. So this is the Perush, he says. This is the proper explanation. So it says, why don't we assume that somebody who puts tefillin is a kosher Jew? We don't assume that. Why is that? So he says, because there are people who are fraudulent, who put tefillin to cheat people. This is the reason why. Because they used to put it to cheat, to cheat people. Right? That's the way it's written in the Truma. And by the way, today it's not tefillin, right? They cheat people with other things, They put tzitzit, they put, peyot, right? All kinds of things, to make themselves look religious. They grow a beard, whatever, right? All kinds of things like this. They cheat with it now. They cheat with those things today. A lot of people who are not kosher people. Okay, you get the idea. I hope you got the idea. Okay, let's see Shulchan Aruch. It's a good lesson. What can I tell you? So it says Gadol Sachar Mitzvah Tefillin. It says Shulchan Aruch. The reward for praying tefillin is very great, as we said, right? Whoever doesn't put them, Bichlal Poshe Yisrael B'Gufan, is considered to be a Jewish sinner with his body. That's the only mitzvah that we say that regarding him, right? He's a sinner with his body. Interesting. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Bet. It's a short chapter. We'll probably finish it. Going there, we'll see. Yeah. Okay, so it says like this. We'll go back to the Torah. So it says the Torah like this. Mitzvatan liot alav kol hayom. So it says the mitzvah of the tefillin really is that you should be wearing it all day. Aval mipnei shetzrichim guf naki, because we need a clean body. Shelo yafiach behem. So what does that mean? You shouldn't pass wind with them, right? It's not allowed to pass wind when you're wearing tefillin. Tzarich shelo yasiach dato mehen. Also, you're not allowed to divert your attention from it, to think about other things, whatever. Bildan alav, when they're still on him. Then kol adam yachol yizaher behem. So not everybody can be careful with that, People that can't control their thoughts like that. They get diverted, they get distracted, blah blah blah. So he says, Al ken na'agu, says, therefore the custom is nowadays, shelo le'anicham kol adam yachol, right? Lo le'anicham kol adam yachol yizaher kol hayom. So now he says, nowadays we don't put it all day, the tefillin, right? That's the custom today, because of this reason. Mikol Makom says, however, but every person has to be careful to put it, at least when they do Kriyat Shema and Tefillah and prayers. There you got to be careful, right? So when do we do that nowadays? Only in the morning, right? Yeah. Sorry about that. We have internet issues here. We'll get back to our discussion. Let me just do the screen share. Okay, back to where we were, right? So as we said, that a person has to be careful to put them at least at the time of Kriyat Shema and Tefillah, the prayers. Okay, very good. So let's see the bit Yosef with that. So it says like this: Katav Od HaRosh, says the Rosh. So it says the Rosh says like this: that which we say that the tefillin needs a clean body, right? Kelisha bal kanafayim, like this holy rabbi, right? Lo shehen tzaddik kelisha doesn't mean they should be like a tzaddik like Elisha, right? Who was a great tzaddik, he was a prophet, right? Whatever, not like that. It means that at least, right? You shouldn't sleep with the tefillin. Don't sleep with it, and don't pass wind with it. Kamo, just like he was doing. So since he had a miracle with tefillin, this rabbi, whatever, so we assume that he was guarding them with purity. That's what it says also in Tosfot, in the Ran, right? In this parak in the Gemara. Katav Rosh, says the Rosh, so he says, nowadays, says the Rosh, by the way, the Rosh was over 600 years ago, right? Okay, so we're talking then even, right? Says, nowadays, we don't put it all, only at the time of prayers we put the tefillin. We don't wear it all day, right? So he says, therefore, it's very easy, to be careful, to watch your mind and to watch your body. Make sure you don't do something nasty there, right? When you're wearing tefillin. So that's what Rabbeinu means also. So in other words, basically, right, this is the thing, you gotta be careful with that. And this is the reason why nowadays we don't put tefillin all day, right? So therefore, by the way, a person shouldn't put tefillin all day, even if he wants to, because he looks like he's being arrogant, like conceited. He can do it, by the way, in his house if he wants to. If he thinks he's so holy, he can do it in his home. But when he goes outside, in front of people, he shouldn't show them that he's better than everybody else, going in the street with tefillin. That's not such a good idea like that. Except when he's going to shul, right, to pray in the morning. That's something else. He can go with tefillin. He can walk to shul with tefillin. Besides that, he shouldn't be walking with tefillin outside in the street, the whole day. Going to supermarket, right? Going to Costco, and he's got his tefillin on. You don't need tefillin in Costco. It's okay. Don't worry about that. Okay. Let's see the Shulchan Aruch. So it says the Shulchan Aruch, mitzvatan liotam alav kol hayom. So it says the mitzvah is to be all day with tefillin. But since we need right? A clean body, he shouldn't pass the wind with them. Also, he shouldn't divert his attention from them. And not everybody can be careful about that. So he says, Nahagu, so therefore, the rule is nowadays we don't put it all day. Right? We don't put tefillin all day. It says, nevertheless, but everybody should be careful. They should be wearing it during the Kriyat Shema and Tefillah. That's what he needs to say. This is the main point. Okay, that's bet. We have one more and we're done. So now we have Gimel in the Tur and Bet Yosef. Let's see that. So it says the Tur, last line over here. Katana yodea lishmor tefillin. But if you have a kid who knows how to guard his tefillin, aviv chayab liknot lo tefillin lechanecho. So his father is already obligated to buy him tefillin to train him, to put it on properly. So when he's bar mitzvah, he'll already know, like it'll be like second nature. By the way, a lot of people don't do this today. What they do is, they buy the kid tefillin like a month before the bar mitzvah or like 2 weeks before. The truth is, that Maran Rabbi, he was makpid. He was careful to buy them tefillin, like just like it says here. Like for kids, like once they get to the age of training, which is like 9 years old, let's say, whatever, right? So they buy them tefillin, and he knows how to guard it. He's old enough already. So if that's the case, right? We train him to put tefillin, and so there, when he's going to be bar mitzvah 3 years later, whatever, right, or 4 years later, or 2 years later, depending on how early you get it. So that's going to be great. He's going to be already used to it, second nature. You don't have to teach him nothing, right? He already knows how to do it. So that's the proper thing to do, even though a lot of people don't do it today, unfortunately. But okay, what can you do, right? Every community has their custom, but this is what it says in the Tur. Let's see the Bet Yosef. So it says Bet Yosef, second line over here. Braita besot perek lulav gazul. So Braita in this perek, right, which is in the Masechet Sukkah, Mem Bet Amud Bet, Amud Aleph, I'm sorry. Uperesh Rashi. So Rashi explains over there, Lishmor tefillin, right, that he should guard his tefillin. Shelo yikanes behem lebet hakiseh. That means that, what does it mean to guard his tefillin? The child is old enough to guard it. He knows how to go in the bathroom with the tefillin on, right? He knows how to take it off before he goes in. He knows he can't go in there like that. It says in Truma, that it says over there. It says something else. He knows how to guard his body, right, from getting filthy, and it's with the tefillin, right, the passing wind, all kinds of things. Like this rabbi. That means he won't sleep with them, as we said, right? He won't sleep with the tefillin, and also not to pass wind. That's what it says in Smak. Says the Tur. So he says it's logical to say, reasonable. Katan Gadol Ben Yud Gimel Shana. So he says interesting, right? That Katan that we're talking about is 13 years old. Yom Echad. Who? And he brought some sources for that. But he says, Bet Yosef says not correct, right? In other words, the Braita is talking about a child. Right? So why are you telling me that he's bar mitzvah? Bar mitzvah is not a child; he's already an adult. So Bet Yosef doesn't agree with this, right? The mashma the katan mamash b'kamar. So it implies that it's really a katan, like a small kid, So it says all the poskim seem to go like that. That when the Braita talks about a child, he's talking about a real child, right? Meaning what? Less than bar mitzvah, right? That's whatever, right? Shekatvu katan stam the mashma the katan mamash ma'ira. So we're talking about a real katan. A real katan. Okay, there you go, right? Okay, so we're done with Bet Yosef, we're done with Tur. Now we go to Shulchan Aruch. Okay, so it says like this, the Shulchan Aruch. Katan hayodea lishmor tefillin b'tahara. Katan knows how to guard his tefillin in purity. Shelo yashen, he won't sleep with it. V'shelo yafiach behem, he won't pass wind. V'shelo likanes behem lebet hakiseh. And he won't go into the bathroom with it. That's what the Ramah says, right? Okay, so then he says, Chayav aviv liknot lo tefillin. his father is obligated to buy him tefillin, the chanechot, to train him. So now, says the Rama, as we already saw in the Beit Yosef, right, brings down this dispute. Some say the high katan dehavka shoot ben gimel shanim. Some say katan means like 13 years old, right? The yom echad, in one day, right? So that's the custom. So you see, right, the Ashkenazim, it seems like that's their custom. That's why they buy the tefillin for the child, right, before bar mitzvah, like 2 weeks, because that's the custom of the Ashkenazim. But we don't go like that, right? The Sfardim, we go like the Shulchan Aruch and right, the whatever the Torah said there. That you should buy it when he's katan already. So as we said, right, there's different customs over there. Some have the custom to do right before bar mitzvah, as we said, right? But the better custom is to do like a couple of years before, as long as the child is already mature. But it could be, by the way, that the reason why the Ashkenazim don't do that, probably they may have a good reason. You know why? Because it could be that the children, they probably noticed we're not so careful about these things, to treat the tefillin with proper respect. So therefore, they said it's better to wait till bar mitzvah. So it could be because whatever they saw in the society, it convinced them, that it shouldn't be this way in their society, in their culture. I mean, there's always a reason for everything. There's every minhag has a reason, That's usually the way it is. Every kosher minhag. If it's not a kosher minhag, it was started by amiratzot, ignorant people. We don't care about minhagim like that. We don't care. We throw it in the garbage. Right? It's really something else. We're not concerned about it. Okay, very good. We're done. Okay, so we have like 10 more minutes, so we can do maybe a little bit more. Okay. You guys aren't tired. I'm certainly not tired. Okay. This chapter is a little bit bigger. We're not going to finish it tonight, but at least we'll start maybe. That's also not bad. Starting is also good. Okay. So we're humming along pretty good. Baruch Hashem, thank God. I'm just pulling it up. You don't mind. We're now in chapter Lamed Chet, Siman Lamed Chet, 38. Okay. Right, so it says a tour like this. Chole me'ayin v'nashim. Oh, now we're getting to this interesting topic, right? Which is that he says the person who has stomach problems, right? Diarrhea, all kinds of things like this, indigestion. I don't know, God knows, all kinds of intestinal issues. Right, and it says also v'nashim, and the women, avadim, and slaves, they're absolved from tefillin. All these three groups, right? And people who are sick, women, and slaves. So it says aval b'yom harishon patur. Avel, I'm sorry. It says avel b'yom harishon patur. Also, a mourner on the first day of his mourning is patur from tefillin. He's exempt. Did you know that, David? The first day of mourning, you're exempt. Okay, so then it says, right, but afterwards he's already liable. I'm sorry?
I don't get it. Who's exempt?
When a person was mourning, right, for his parents, whatever, or his siblings, the first day of the avelut, he's exempt from tefillin.
Okay, but prior to that, you said some kind of health issues.
Right. He's got stomach problems. In other words, he's always like diarrhea or passing wind, something like that.
I see.
He's got issues there,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
What if the person insists on putting it on and doing that mitzvah?
right. So then, as we said, right, that you could insist if you want, as long as you can hold it for like a couple of minutes, or for a few minutes, and then take it off right away. Do it fast.
Well, nobody has diarrhea, constantly. I mean,
right. But there are some people, who have like issues, like they have like serious issues with the stomach. Like we're not talking about normal people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure,
The
sure.
person is ill, he's got an illness. He's got, something, right. We're not talking about your average Joe,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so, right, but it could be something temporary also, just, like, let's say for 2 days. Let's say for 2 days he had diarrhea, right?
Mm.
This happens, by the way, when you get stomach poisoning, like food poisoning. Sometimes you get diarrhea, and like you just it's going 2-3 days, doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We're talking about things
Yeah.
like this, you know what I mean? A person like that, he has to go to the bathroom like 20 times, 30 times a day. It's pretty dangerous, and he often gets dehydrated, so he has to drink a lot of water. It's all this discussion, it's all this condition. Okay, whatever. But anyway, right, as we said, these people are absolved. So he says, but from the first day and onward of mourning, he's chayav, he's obligated. Even new people came to console him. Okay, so he says, Tisha B'Av, right? Chayav behen. On Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, which is this day of the destruction of the temple, you are liable to put tefillin, right? Even though some people have the custom to put it in the afternoon, and some people have the custom to put it in the morning. But anyway, right, you got to put it sometime in the day, whatever it is, right? So either way. Okay, so we'll see the Beit Yosef. Okay, so it says Beit Yosef, right? Somebody who's sick in the stomach. It says over there in the Gemara, Chulin, Kuf Yudah Mud Aleph, Memra de Rav Yudah, right? It's a statement of Rav Yudah. Katav Rosh B'Tshuva, says the Rosh in Tshuva, Klal Dalet over there in Siman Aleph, this is place. Shemi Shebari Lo, Sheno Yachol Yitpalel Belo Hafacha. So it says if a person knows for sure, okay, you can't pray without passing wind. You can't hold it. Right? Yachol Yitpalel Belo Hafacha. It says, Mutav Shiavor Zman Tfilah, it's better that he should pray later, In other words, even though the time of the prayers has already passed. It's better to do than to wait until his body gets better than to pray now, right? Passing wind all the time. Right? The Emir Elo, but he says if he knows he can hold himself, right? He can hold it. The guf naki with a clean body, at least with Kriyat Shema, right? Ben Ahava with Kriyat Shema. Yaniach tefillin, so she put the tefillin, she should bless. So he says that's the way he has to do it because he has no choice. So he said this is even more pronounced than the story of Rav. In Brachot Yudal Amud Bet, Yamar Shlichahu the Avit. What does that mean? Katuv Rabbeinu Siman Pei Katav Amorichi Tefillin Shechole Patur Min Tefillin. So also Mordechai says, right, a person who's sick, he's absolved from tefillin. And he brought some sources for that. But Tema says it's a wonder. So then why does it say in the Talmud in Rabbi Yehuda says only if your sickness is in the stomach, then you're absolved, but not any sickness, right? Doesn't say that. So it should say, when that was the case, it should say just say a sick person instead of saying a person who's sick in the intestines. So as Matzati, so as I found the Rambam, says I found the Rambam. It says like this, right? Laws of Tefillin, Perek Daled. Mitztaer u'mi she'eno da'atom yoshevet. So it's a person who's got some kind of a agony. He's in agony, or he can't concentrate. Right? Patur, he says he's exempt from tefillin. He can't get his thoughts together, Shamaniach asur le'asiach dato mehem. Why is that? So he says because when you put tefillin, you're not allowed to divert your attention from it. So if you're like, you're like totally like, daydreaming about something else, you can't get your thoughts together. You're totally distracted. So what's the point to put tefillin? You're going to just be a sinner, So better to wait, until your mind calms down, you're more relaxed, right? To concentrated. It says, if he's there, it says, according to this, he says, but Yosef, it says we could also absolve any person who's sick, even if he's very in agony. In other words, the person is in agony, because of the sickness, right? Then he would be really absolved because the agony won't allow him to have the proper concentration. That's already something else. So then, why did Rabbi Yehuda talk about only person who's sick in his stomach? Right? Let's talk about even if he's not in agony because of the problem of his stomach issue. And that's already something else. Passing gases, right, and diarrhea, blah blah blah, all kinds of stuff. Okay, God, whatever. God help us. Okay, we'll see the Shulchan Aruch. I guess we'll stop there. Aleph and Bet Shulchan Aruch. So it says Shulchan Aruch, Chole me'ayin patur b'tefillin. So it says a person who's sick in the stomach, right, as we said, intestinal issues, he's absolved from tefillin because he can't hold it, right? That's the whole thing. So says the Ramah, that applies even if he doesn't have agony. But it says when it comes to other sicknesses, even if he's in agony because of the sickness, then and he can't concentrate because of that, patur is absolved, right? But if it's not so, then he's obligated, even if he's sick. Okay, so that's pretty much the story there. Let's go to bed. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so it says like this. Look what it says, right? Let's say he knows for sure he can't pray without passing some gases, Mutav shi'avor zman atfilah. So it's better that it's the time of prayer should pass. You should pray late, in other words, right? Better to wait and pray late than to pray without a clean body. This is the halacha. So it says Shulchan Aruch, but he says if he thinks, right, if he estimates that he can hold himself, right, to do at least Kriyat Shema, as we said, right? Yanich tefillin ben ahava mutab ben ahava leKriyat Shema v'yivarech. So it says then what you do is like this, put tefillin, just say Kriyat Shema, and bless. So if you want to know, by the way, exactly what he's saying here, right, the exact nuance here is like this, right, that when we pray in the morning, okay, I'm not talking about the ladies now, I'm talking about the men, right? So when the men pray in the morning, we have Kriyat Shema, but we also have the blessings of the Kriyat Shema, right? So we have, in the morning, we have 2 blessings before and 1 blessing after. Altogether, we have 3 blessings. So he's telling you, right, that what you should do is, if you're not sure if you can hold it, only for a short time, 2 minutes, whatever, let's say, right? So wait till you finish the second blessing, and right before Kriyat Shema, then put the tefillin with a blessing, say it, and then, you can take it off, whatever, in other words, if you can't hold it. That's what he's trying to tell you, right? So in other words, we do like the minimal amount that's possible to do according to the situation that you're in. Okay, that's good. Any questions? Comments? Okay. All right, so we'll continue tomorrow, Reza Hashem. Tomorrow it may be tough because we're going to be drunk tomorrow. So we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can pull something off. I don't know. It may require, what they say, right? Next Purim, a Purim miracle. Maybe it's still tough. So if Hashem makes a miracle, I'll see you tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll wait till the next day, right? And then we'll get back into the swing, right? Which is going to be Wednesday. Okay, very good. God bless you all. Thanks for coming. Chag Sameach, Purim Sameach. Happy holiday. Be blessed. Wealth, health, happiness, all the good things. Amen, amen.
Thank you, Parsmich.
You too. All the best.